Hello and welcome to Stampscaping 101. I'm going to be experimenting on this new pattern of rainbow holographic paper that I just picked up. I saw it being used in Stamp Wars, and I said, hey, what color is Stacy using? Or what paper is she using? And they told me what it was, and I said, I have to get that. So during Stamp Wars, I ordered a pack, as the Stamp Wars was going on, just so I wouldn't forget. And this is the first time that I've used it. I'm stamping out the Lakeside Cove Large on both the red and I guess it's a gold color or something like that. I wasn't quite sure if it was gold or yellow or what color those were. But one of the things that was interesting on the red here, I just stamped out that StazOn in black ink. But it had that kind of foilish blue within the impression for some reason. I have no idea. It's something to do with the solvent ink and that, that reddish foil. I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. Okay, going with the Lakeside Cove in black on the gold. Now, one of the things about this foil, I'm kind of combating the whole kind of loud pattern of that paper. It's really hard to see the imagery on there, right? And it's because that you have these bands of dark and light. I just used the Reeds Large, by the way, in the foreground. But you're fighting against these bands of dark and light that are not fixed, okay? It's just however you hold the paper, those bands of dark and light kind of oscillation and color bands and whatever color schemes that are on this holographic foil, they're moving all the time, so it's not like you can just kind of work around them. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm adding in a vignette of the Brilliance fast drying water-based pigment ink. It's not fast drying on this foil though, okay? It's fast drying on things like glossy cardstock or something that's a little bit more porous. So that being said, I'm using this Brilliance ink because I can blend it around. You cannot blend it all with StazOn ink. It's just too fast drying. It dries instantly. If I put it on a cotton ball, it would probably dry before I even touch the paper with it. All right. So see, what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of muting out a lot of that cardstock right there, but still, I couldn't see the imagery very much. It was just too loud. And I wasn't quite sure if it was going to work or not. If it was just this Brilliance ink going on in here, I don't think it would work as a usable surface for my purposes, okay? But I'm going to show you what I do later on that I feel brings this whole piece together and makes it work, okay? So again, you have this background that's kind of ever-changing, depending on the direction of light that you're kind of having, holding it to or at an angle to. But look at that. It's just so loud. I mean, that Lakeside Cove Large, which is a fairly solid image, just kind of gets lost in the mix like there. Okay, now as I hold this at an angle, I was doing that so the viewers can see where I've applied that black ink. But I just put my finger in it right there just to show the viewers that, this ink is it's applied pretty well, but you can still remove it. Okay, now here's where I'm going on with the Dr. Martens Bleed Proof White. And I'm doing it in a splatter pattern up in the sky to represent stars. Now for me, this is where the piece came together. See that right there? For me, those splatter painted white stars up there gave something stable into those dark areas, and to the light areas too. But now we have some light in that dark area, just in the form of it almost looks like little pinholes of light. But it stabilized that sky, I believe, by having something that's just not moving around like all those bands of colors, So I never thought about it that way, but I think it really kind of I don't know, it gave some solidity and a foundation to the entire upper area there, where now those bands are moving against those stars. Right before, it was just kind of this amorphic area that was ever-changing and kind of loose. I loved it so much, I said, okay, I'm going to try that again, but let's do it on the gold, but let's do it with more kind of solid and bold images on this one. And I also wanted to see how fast I could do it. This card right here does not take too long to do. After I kind of knew what I was doing and what I was going after. You know, that first one, I just didn't know if it would work or not, like I said. But see, even like right now, you know, that card on the left, look how it looks. It's just so wild looking. And look how the bands of colors are on this one with the lighting right here. But sometimes you hold it at a different angle and it's like these little tiny streaks. So it's just, I don't know, it's a card of like so many different personalities, okay? But again, here's what I'm doing. I'm putting on this vignette, kind of a darker perimeter like that, and kind of like a Northern Lights type of thing. It's kind of like a hanging curtain. Now what I'm doing right here in the ink is I'm streaking back up through the lighter areas into the darker areas to kind of give it that little scrapey, kind of feathered look. Because again, I'm removing some of that ink like that. So it gives it that kind of Northern Lights hanging curtain-y type of, I don't know, I guess a curtain of light is, you know, what they're supposed to look like. But after I do that, what I do is I go back in and I add a little bit more ink into it. So I'm adding, then subtracting, then adding some more back into it. I splatter painted that one on the right, and here I am going in with a little kayaker on this one to give a little bit of a subject matter down below. And there you have it. There are the two cards like that. I've added a little bit of white pigment ink to some of those stars to make them glow. But I thought this paper worked really fantastic for it. I really thought it was going to be too loud. Now look at this. I'm putting my hands over it, and look at it, gave it those kind of bands of I don't know, kind of lighting in there. And that's what we get right there from the new Rainbow Holographic. Look how wild that is. Isn't that kind of a cool look? Hope you enjoyed the cards and hope you give this a try. If you have any questions, drop me a note in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching.